and we're here today after the gathering of second week of our Beyond Platitudes Care IQ for Grief series. Today we were talking about how presence is the gift we give to one another, that we have a superpower. Each one of you has a superpower to listen, to be present, and to listen one another back to life. Like, that is something that humans can do for one another. And so even just the fact that you're sitting together in a group and making this commitment to one another is an incredible, incredible gift. Not necessarily to fix, not to solve the, whatever grief people are going through, whatever you're going through in life, but just to be present to one another. And today in our gathering, we lit candles to even recognize and remember people who have gone before, who have died, and to really remember the ways that their presence in our lives has shaped us and formed us, and maybe even continues to shape us and mold us and kind of drive us a little bit. I was thinking a lot about today my grandparents and my cousin who have died that still are very present, and it feels weird to say that sometimes, but in a community of trust and practice like this, I feel like we get to do that. So there's another voice that we want to gift to you, to kind of help form the conversation that you may be having in your groups this week. Melissa. Yeah.
I'll have you hold this when I'm reading, but one thing I noticed when people shared with me about their candles that I really appreciated was a couple people said, I lit it for this person, and they were actually kind of a mixed bag. Mm-hmm. Like, they named that they were human beings who weren't perfect. And I think when I approach these questions of how to be with someone when I'm grieving or when they're grieving and I want to do it right, and it's this temptation to think about doing it right too much rather than growing in practice. And so just this space to do that together. Groups, I don't know of a better one. It's even better than my family because my family is too close sometimes. Yeah. So anyway, thanks again for being together. And each week we've found some prompts from this book from Suleika Jawad, and she got leukemia when she was in her 20s and has many other parts of herself that are also true, but she has collected voices over the years through her practice of journaling and creativity with her partner, John Batiste. You may have met her if you watch the Netflix documentary American Symphony. That's who is behind this book, and each prompt is meant to use creativity and writing to alchemize hard things into something new, even though you never asked for the hard thing in the first place. But it's just a variety of really interesting and wonderful voices. So I want to share one today with you that I think gives us another set of stories, another potential picture of how this works. So it's called Darling, I Am Here For You by Elizabeth Lesser. People need people. That's always been true. We also exasperate one another, an evergreen truth. We need one another, but so often we struggle to show up in a meaningful way. That's never more obvious than when someone we love is suffering, whether they have a serious illness or a headache or a heartache. When I was my sister Maggie's bone marrow donor, the easy part was having my stem cells harvested. The harder part was knowing how to help Maggie during some of the most extreme suffering I've ever witnessed. We've all been there, trying to support the ones we love when they are hurting. And we have all been the ones hurting and still flounder in our helping. I had a front row seat in the theater of how not to help when I was Maggie's caretaker after the transplant. Well-meaning friends expounded on the healing power of juice fasts or the amazing clinic in Germany where so-and-so's cousin was cured, or how negative thinking might have caused the cancer. Ugh. I'd watch Maggie's face twist into a look of weary and sometimes wrathful disbelief. Some people were overhelpers, filling the awkward spaces with too much advice, too much talking. I've done that. Maybe you have too. And some friends, in their confusion or fear, didn't help enough. I've done that too. not make contact because I didn't want to say the wrong thing or intrude on someone's privacy, but avoiding the one who is hurting also goes into the how not to help category. Tempting though. So, how to help our beloveds in their illness, their struggles, or merely in these troubled times? My favorite advice comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Zen monk, poet, and peace activist who died in 2022. All over the world, thousands of people would gather to listen to Thich Nhat Hanh, perhaps expecting complicated theories that would unlock all the secrets of life. But it was his very being that was the teaching. He was the most peaceful person I have ever been around. In an interview, Oprah asked him the best way to help another person. And I'll just end there. No, just kidding.
What?
And he said, the most precious gift you can give to the one you love is your true presence. So my mantra is very simple, he said. Darling, I am here for you. It turns out that while health articles, a meal chain, and even your bone marrow will go a long way in helping, but it's the marrow of our very selves, our unadorned presence that we need most. When I think back to those dark winter days after Maggie came home from the hospital, what I know she appreciated the most were the hours we spent stretched out on the long window seat in her kitchen. She on one side, me on the other, our feet touching, and the silence, the deep, healing silence. And me repeating just under my breath, darling, I am here for you. So this is your prompt. Share about the gift of presence, about a time when someone was there for you, or when you were able to be there for someone, or when you wanted to, but you just didn't know how, or tried and it was not well received, or it flopped, or it backfired. How did it change you, and what did you learn? So many things to talk about, so many options. Also invite you all to share about who you lit your candle for, share those stories. You can also practice the unhurried circle anytime as a group. That's kind of fun. So lots of options, and thanks for showing up together. Have fun.
Have fun.